Hi, I'm Todd Lucier. I'm here with Greg Waters, who is in charge of the kitchen and the gardens here at Northern Edge Algonquin. And we want to introduce you to some of the ideas of what sustainable gardening looks like, what sustainable food looks like for somebody in the tourism business, but also to give you a sense of what goes on here. So, hi Greg.
Hi, Todd.
We have quite a robust garden here. What are we trying to do? What's the basic principle that guides what we put in the garden?
Well, starting off, we know that we're not able to grow everything that we cook with for the number of guests that we have at the edge. So what we've tried to do is have gardens that are representational of the food that we serve. We've tried to maximize all the spaces that have sunlight in our site, and we're right in the forest here. So this spring, I noticed when I was hauling topsoil off to our sort of Mediterranean garden that's out on the beachfront, which receives a lot more sun, that there was a strip of sunlight here in our new parking lot. And so we've just added compost that we have collected over the last couple of years, and now we're able to offer, fresh cucumbers for the first time to our guests. We have cabbage, all sorts of different types of salad type onions and things like that. So what I've tried to do to focus on, since we do have limited gardening space, we try to focus on aspects of the meals that fresh produce will best shout out, in our taste buds. And so we're able to supply a lot of fresh herbs that we do out on the beachfront, and I use things from the garden and try to create dressings or sauces that could come 100% from our garden. So a fresh cucumber dressing where we're able to use all the cucumbers, the dill, the tarragon, mint, and things from our garden. So we could say this sauce was produced here, right on site.
So we let our guests know, hey, this for this meal, this part of the meal was created from stuff that you've been walking by on a trail or sitting at the beachfront seeing and things of that nature.
Exactly.
And their response to that is
Amazing. I was smelling that this morning. I saw you picking that this afternoon,
yeah.
and that's the type of response.
What kind of time investment does that take? In terms of in a commercial way, managing a garden like this.
Since this is a new garden, there's the initial greater investment in time in the springtime to create the garden and work on improving the soil. Starting in the beginning of July through now late August, I would say we probably only spend about 4 hours a week weeding, harvesting, replanting. Basically, I'm harvesting the zucchini right now, so as to make a grilled zucchini, white bean, tomato, and fresh basil salad. And I'll wait, obviously, to pick the basil just before I serve the salad, and we'll marinate the zucchini and do a slow grill and a bit of a smoke to get the nice smoky flavor into the zucchini and mix with the white beans and fresh tomatoes. Other ingredients from around the world, we have an organic olive oil that will be in that dish that we buy through the Ontario Natural Food Co-op, and buying through them allows us to buy bulk orders of organic goods, whether they be oils and vinegars or dry goods, so that we can provide that with our guests and buy it in quantity that makes it economically more sustainable. And so that's the easy part of providing organic food at the edge.
Quite obviously, we can't grow all the food that we're serving our guests here, but we do look locally in the local community to try to find food. Can you talk a little bit about the nature of our purchase of foods that we serve our guests?
Well, sure, yeah. Well, we're in late summer here in Ontario, and it is the easiest time of year to find local and organic food, and we're off to the Huntsville market, a half an hour down the highway from us. We're always on the lookout for people that could drop things off at our office that have been grown in the immediate area. Let's say 100 miles around the edge, but that still is somewhat limited for us. So we go the extra 100 miles, and we are able still to stay, definitely within Ontario, but also buying from a small family farm that focuses on organic produce.
We're out on Sky Hills Road, and we raise all our animals chemical-free and free-range, and all our vegetables are pesticide-free. We grow everything better than organically, or we try to. We don't use any hormones or antibiotics in anything, and we just eat what we grow, and we like other people to eat safe and healthy too.
So one of the questions that might come up for people is, how do I find people in my community that provide this kind of stuff? And word of mouth is great. I mean, people talk to one another in the community to try to identify who those people are that are providing that stuff, and you can find it. One of the things that we've found is Facebook. In our immediate community, the near north of Ontario, there's a Facebook group that is called the Near North Locavores. Locavore is a style of eating that doesn't necessarily look for organic, doesn't look for necessarily vegetarian or any kind of outlandish kind of principle, except that the food that we're choosing is local. Mm-hmm. Local means less fuel, less carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere. It's a good for the earth type of harvesting our food. Okay, mm-hmm. So on Facebook, there's this Locavore group. We get messages from time to time that say one of the members of this group is harvesting, going to be slaughtering some beef over the next couple of weeks. Anybody who'd like to come in and get some of that meat, here's the price and come and get it. Or I got a note yesterday that said that lamb was available. So if we know that there's local food being produced and being sold in a community market situation, we can make efforts to communicate with our community and then make really good use of those food materials as they become available. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably a big principle of the food that we put out here, seasonal appropriateness of the menus.
That's exactly right. It's fabulous when I can open a jar of tomato sauce that we canned in early September and use eggplant that we were able to buy by the bushel once again in late August, early September, and we fire roast in the bake oven. Then we can it and then provide a meal sometime in January after some folks come back from the ski, where it has all these Mediterranean influences, and the food was grown in Ontario and somewhat close to where we are. By doing that processing and thinking about the importance of serving local food, we plan for our January meals now in August and September. And then when it does come, what's available in January, which is a little bit more limited, then my operating principle becomes, trying to use local foodstuffs, but with flavors, international flavors and things like that. So spices from afar come into the menu to jazz up and enhance, vegetables that are somewhat limited in the wintertime.
So that's really it. Food at Northern Edge Algonquin, what we're really striving for is something that's got, in the summertime, got local flavors and spices and herbs and vegetables that are coming that have a real wonderful, powerful taste that liven up foods immediately. And also looking locally, looking for the people in our community that are providing all sorts of food and putting that on our table. So we encourage other tourism businesses to looking to be a little bit more sustainable. Perhaps the best thing that you can do is look locally. And in some cases you'll pay a little bit more for that influence of that local food, or invest a little bit more time and energy into the gardens and things like that. But your guests are going to appreciate it hands down.
Yes. That's right.
Thanks, Greg, for taking the time to talk to us this morning, and good eating.
Good eating. No worries, Todd. Thanks.